Hello and welcome to this 2015 Technology in the Classroom Awareness Training Seminar. My name is Jacob Bennett and I am a first-year teacher here at Generic Elementary School. Today we will be covering information that will help us as educators be more aware of how to use technology, specifically the internet, in our classrooms, and how to avoid pitfalls that may arise when dealing with legal, ethical, and social issues. The first thing we should cover is legal issues that can arise when using information off the internet. The internet can be a wonderful tool when finding resources. However, some of these resources may be copyrighted. Examples of things that are typically under copyright include movies, books, pictures, art, and textbooks. Copyrighted materials need to be paid for before use and are protected by the owner of said materials. Now, just because something is copyrighted doesn't mean it can't ever be used in the classroom. There is a clause referred to as fair use that protects people's First Amendment rights to free speech when using copyrighted materials in certain situations. Now, this can get sticky when trying to figure out when you are safe in fair use and when you aren't. So go off the discernment of your administration whenever faced with a cloud of doubt. Does this seem like a lot to take in? Well, thankfully, not all sources are copyrighted. Many sources are considered public domain, meaning you can use them however you would like, without need of approval. To find public domain resources is as easy as a Google search. A great way to find sources that are available to you and relevant to the classroom is with a nonprofit organization known as Creative Commons. This organization helps to centralize free and useful teacher and student resources onto one website in a way that supports you as the teacher. There are some other legal and ethical issues that can arise when dealing with the internet in the classroom. One that is commonly faced is pornography. Many students are at an age where they have a piqued interest in their sexuality, and this can cause their minds to wander. Now, many schools have adopted filters that prevent students from accessing websites that have been deemed inappropriate. But if you are not sure if your classroom has this filter, talk to your school's IT representative and they will help. When using the internet in the classroom, always make sure to have at least one teacher in the eyesight of the students' monitors. Like any other tool in the classroom, it's important to make sure the students don't get off task when using the computer. Also, having pre-approved websites for the students to access makes it easy for teachers in the room to know who is working and who's getting off task. Another issue that has arisen is cheating. A sixth grader in Florida was arrested and faced with felony charges for changing his grades in the teacher's computer. Make sure to change your password frequently and never keep it written down at your desk. Also, never leave your computer logged on when unintended. Keep logs of when you change grades. That way you have proof that you weren't the person who changed said student's grade if there were ever to be a case of an inexplicable grade in your gradebook. Now that we have an understanding of some of the pitfalls in using computers and how to combat these pitfalls, let's talk about diversity. Within technological fields, there are a lot of divides. For instance, only 25% of the computer science workforce is female, despite almost 47% of the total workforce being female. This shows that not many women are going into this field. Also, Black and Latino students show to be technologically behind when compared to their white counterparts. Socioeconomic status also has a huge impact on students' computer literacy rates. Students who have a computer at home are far more likely to excel and relate to computer work versus students with no computer experience at all. There's a lot we can do as educators to combat this problem, and it is important that we do combat this problem. The field of computer work and technology is growing every day, and there are less and less jobs that don't require prior experience with computers. So as educators, if we hope to help our youth prepare for the workforce, it is vital that we are able to reach all of them when we work with computers. One tip I can give you is to not lose sight of what a computer is to us in the classroom, and that is a tool. No different than a book or a pencil, the computer can be accessible to all students if we make it so. For instance, when picking out computer typing games for the classroom, choose ones that are enjoyable to both boys and girls. Or even yet, give them the choice of what game they will play. Giving students access to the computer after school or during free time if they don't have one at home is another great way to bridge the gap. Another thing you can do is set the desktop background on your computer to images friendly to the students, such as a logo of a popular children's TV show or book. This way they feel like the computer is something they can relate to and something they want to do, versus something that they just have to do for the class. As mentioned before, the computer is a tool, and it is important that our students understand this and treat it as such. In the same way, we don't want our students flinging pencils at each other or playing finger football with their erasers. We also don't want them only using the computer for games. Our school, like many others, has an acceptable use policy in reference to our computers. Reference this policy and make sure you are aware of it by talking to the administration. If this policy is not already in the agendas the students have, put it in your welcoming letters that you send home with the parents to be signed, and read over it with the class. Make sure to go over this policy on the first day of school and again on the first day of computer use. Like any other aspect of classroom management, clear expectations are vital. The last topic that needs to be covered in this training is cyberbullying. As you know, cyberbullying affects many students. In fact, over half of all adolescents claim to have been cyberbullied at some point in their life. As educators, the first thing we need to do is to make sure to set ground rules and insist our classroom is a bully-free zone and that no form of bullying will be tolerated. Also, never have the students do computer discussion that you cannot read. There are applications that you can get for your computer to keep track of your student activity, to keep them accountable. If a student comes to you about cyberbullying, report it like you would any other bullying case. Let the student know that you are there to support them, and have them screenshot any further cases of bullying as evidence. Talking to your class about cyberbullying and the seriousness of the problem can do wonders to reducing its impact. Many students simply aren't aware of the pain they can potentially cause online. This wraps this teacher's training. I hope all of you have a wonderful school year, and this is Jacob Bennett, signing off.